Hello, and welcome to the Masgutova Graduate School of Neurodevelopmental Science. I am Dr. Elizabeth Forgione, Provost. I want to thank you for taking the time to explore the Masgutova Graduate School and all that we have to offer. I will be taking you through an explanation of each of our current programs, as well as some of the common questions that we receive. I hope you enjoy this session and look forward to assisting you more in the future. I would like to once again welcome you and thank you for taking the time to explore the Masgutova Graduate School of Neurodevelopmental Science as a part of your career goals. We will begin this session discussing the background of the Masgutova Graduate School, and then we will move into an overview of the Master of Science program, the certificate programs, and the non-degree seeking option. Within each of these programs, we will discuss entrance requirements, transfer possibilities, and academic expectations. The background for the Masgutova Graduate School takes decades to develop. However, it begins with Dr. Svetlana Masgutova and her strong interest in reflex maturation and development during her university education in Russia. This fascination became her motivation for her graduate thesis, Unconditioned Reflexes, Unconscious Processes, and Personality Perception. The knowledge base that Dr. Masgutova has assessed through her education and in later studies is not only broad, it spans physiology, neurology, psychology, to audiology, ophthalmology, neurooptometry, and more. But it also goes deep as she draws from resources ahead of her time, with most making notable breakthroughs in and out of their respective fields. Dr. Masgutova not only had access to information from the broader world arena, but she also had access to research that until recently was only available in Russia. This made her investigation of the subject of reflexes far more comprehensive. Dr. Masgutova has held true to her promise to make the study of reflexes the focus of her life work. In 2020, she transformed this study into the broader context of higher education and established the Masgutova Graduate School. The mission of the Masgutova Graduate School is to provide the leading career-focused educational opportunities based on the innovative concepts for neurodevelopment, neuromodulation, and neurosensory motor reflex. The graduate school strives to foster the growth of professionals from interdisciplinary fields who seek to better assist the populations they serve. It is the purpose of the Masgutova Graduate School to focus on innovative knowledge and research, interdisciplinary populations, and to develop advanced critical thinkers. We accomplish this through the offering of a Master of Science in Neurodevelopmental Science and 2 certificate programs, Accelerated Learning for Neurodiversity and Stress and Trauma Relief Strategies and Techniques for Helping Professionals. Let's take some time to explore each of these programs individually. The Master of Science program is a combination of theory, practice, and research in neurosensory motor reflex integration with a heavy emphasis on the Masgutova method, including the history of neurodevelopment and the science and research behind why this method works and is so very powerful. It is designed for professionals with a bachelor's degree in health, psychology, wellness, education, or really any related field. We have even had students with a business background. The objectives for this program include applying up-to-date theory in neurosensory motor reflex integration, discriminating between various protocols, integrating protocols to tailor plans for individuals and group needs, to analyze research for credibility, validity, and reliability, and finally, to contribute to innovative research and practice through your very own research study. The Master of Science courses include courses focused in 4 key areas: science, research, theory and practice, and hands-on. Among the science-focused courses, you will find courses like anatomy, neuroimmunology, and effects of physical, emotional, and cognitive development. When looking more at the research, you'll find research methods, special topics, and of course, your graduate thesis. With theory and practice, we're looking at courses related to repatterning, primary movement and biomechanics, tactility, stress and trauma, and more, all using the Masgutova method as its foundation for practice. And finally, your hands-on components. In classes, just as the theory and practice, you'll have labs related, as well as externships where you will demonstrate your mastery of the hands-on components. If you would like to explore more of the details that comprise the Master of Science degree, you can visit masgutovagraduateschool.com, go to Academics, and then down to Master of Science curriculum. On this page, you will find a brief overview of the program and then a breakdown of each and every course that is a part of this Master of Science program. Specifically, the courses are organized by semester. However, this is intended to be for the student that would like to attend full-time and finish as quickly as possible. We understand that that is not the majority of our students. Instead, most people can use this organization to determine what courses they need to complete so that they are sure to have all required prerequisites as they move further along in the program. Now, each course contains information regarding the credits, the prerequisites, transfer equivalencies, and the objectives. So let's take a moment and look at 2 different examples. The first, let's look at reflexes for stress and trauma recovery. If I select the plus sign next to the title, a menu opens up. Here we see the credits, the prerequisites, which for this course are none, and the transfer equivalencies. For this course from SMEI, it would be the MNRI, stress and trauma recovery. And finally, the course objectives. However, this course doesn't have any prerequisites, so let's look at an example of a course that does. So let's move down to neuromodulation of infant and toddler reflexes. Again, let's select the plus sign, and our credits are 2. Our prerequisites in this instance are dynamic and postural, primary movement and biomechanics, and tactility, and their associated labs. There is not a transfer equivalency for this course. And then the course objectives. Take your time and explore all of the courses. The majority of the Master of Science program is completed online with one exception, the externships. The externships require 64 hours of hands-on demonstration of practice, primarily through the conferences held by SMEI, where you will work with an externship professor. There are just a few criteria for entrance into the Master of Science program. The first is a bachelor's degree. Regardless of the area of the degree, you simply need to have completed your bachelor's degree with at least a 3.0 GPA. If that 3.0 GPA is not met, please contact the admissions department to determine the alternative options for you. In addition, if you are an applicant from outside of the United States or outside of an English-speaking country, you will need to complete one of the following: the TOEFL, with a minimum score of 65 or 80, depending on the format of the testing, the academic IELTS, or the Duolingo English test. Once you've completed your online application, you can then submit your transcript from SMEI should you have courses that you would like reviewed for transfer equivalency. In looking at this table, you can see that the Master of Science program is a total of 60 credit hours. However, the total maximum credits that can be transferred from SMEI is 21.25, or just over 35% of the curriculum. In total, that leaves 38.75, or just about 65% of the curriculum remaining. If you have all of the courses eligible for transfer equivalency, you would save approximately $16,000 in tuition. This is a very big expense. A common question that we receive is regarding the workload. What exactly is going to be required of me in a course? Can I fit that into my busy lifestyle with family and work and all of the other things that I have going on? Well, here's a basic way to think of it. If the class is 1 credit hour, it equals 2 hours of in-class lessons or readings. Those are video lessons, and 2 hours of additional work, assignments, discussions, and hands-on practice. For example, if a class is 2 credits, which so many of our classes are, you would need an hour and a half to 2 hours a week for your video lessons and reading, and then an additional 2 hours for discussion assignments and written work. The first of our 2 certificate programs that we will discuss is Accelerated Learning for Neurodiversity. The Accelerated Learning for Neurodiversity certificate has the purpose to equip individuals with neuroreflex integration and neuromodulation techniques. The goal is to support diverse populations and optimize learning and development. The target group for this certificate would be teachers, parents, and others working with learners of all ages. The key components of this certificate include the implementation of current neurodevelopment theory, the application of neuromodulation techniques and neuroreflex integration skills, and the enhancement of physical, emotional, and cognitive abilities. All of this together is intended to optimize learning to reduce aggressive or unwanted behaviors and create an environment within that learning space that is positive and nurturing. The second certificate that we'll discuss is Stress and Trauma Relief Strategies and Techniques for Helping Professionals. The purpose of this certificate is to equip attendees with neurodevelopmental knowledge and neuromodulation techniques. The goal is to support individuals and communities with symptoms of acute and chronic stress, trauma, and post-trauma. The target audience for this certificate would be those working with or aspiring to work with people of all ages who have experienced traumatic events. This includes environmental disasters such as hurricanes or flooding, fires, etc., or less catastrophic trauma down to the individual basis. The key components are to understand the impact of stress and trauma, to apply the neuromodulation techniques to alleviate symptoms, and to assist those affected by natural disasters, personal trauma, and other environmental occurrences. Should you desire to learn more about the certificate courses in detail, visit masgutovagraduateschool.com, then navigate to Admissions and Certificate Curriculum. On this page, you will find both certificates just discussed, as well as some additional details. For example, both certificate programs are a total of 13 credit hours. They are delivered in a hybrid method, which means all of the courses are delivered online, with the exception of one in-person component that is the supervised lab. This lab is the culminating course to show your ability to apply the skills learned. As you scroll down, you will see each course listed, as well as the number of credits and any prerequisites. The first few courses, of course, do not have prerequisites, and the courses should really be taken in this order if at all possible. Now, when we get to effects of reflex maturation on vestibular and proprioceptive systems within the accelerated learning curriculum, you'll see that it has a prerequisite for dynamic and postural integration. Now, I'm going to scroll fairly quickly down to the stress and trauma relief strategies techniques for helping professionals, and you will find again that program description and the courses listed. The first couple of courses are the same, however, it quickly shifts to more of a focus on physical, emotional, and cognitive development and stress management. The entrance requirements are similar but not quite the same. You have an option here. If you have a bachelor's degree, you can participate in any of our certificate programs regardless of the degree. However, if you don't already hold a bachelor's degree, then you would need to show 2,000 hours of documented work in a wellness discipline. This could include massage therapy, SMEI training, and many other options. The supervised lab component is the one and only in-person component for each certificate. The supervised lab is required to be in person, scheduled at our Orlando clinic. It is a total of 2 days or 16 hours in which you would demonstrate mastery and application of the skills learned throughout the program. There are a minimal number of classes that can be transferred in for each certificate. In total, each certificate is 13 credit hours, allowing 6 credit hours to be transferred in from SMEI. This is a total of 3 courses, with a remaining 7 credit hours. Should you have all 6 credits to transfer in, you could save $2,400 of the total cost. The final opportunity offered by the Masgutova Graduate School is to become a non-degree seeking student. As a non-degree seeking student, you can audit courses, which means you can take specifically designated courses for no academic credit. These courses come at a reduced cost because there are no assignments or discussions required for grading. Instead, you're able to view the pre-recorded lessons and gain the information. With all of this information, I'm sure you are wondering what this will cost. For a Master of Science program, each credit hour is $750. If you needed to take all 60 credit hours, you're looking at roughly $46,000. If you are interested in a certificate program, each course is $800 for a total of $5,600 per certificate. And then if you are interested in becoming a non-degree seeking student, each course is $500 per credit hour. This means most courses are about $1,000. Now, there are some additional fees. Regardless of your status or desired enrollment type, There are one-time fees, which include the application fee of $50 and the graduation fee of $100. Each semester, there is a technology fee and library fee of $20 each. Textbooks or manuals will vary based on the course, and it is your responsibility as the student to acquire the required reading materials. We work very diligently to keep those costs very, very low. So what are the next steps? Well, you can get more information by visiting the website, masgutovagraduateschool.com, or emailing questions to admissions@mgsns.org. If you have made a decision and are ready to apply, simply go to our website, and under admissions, you will find the application. I would like to thank you for taking the time to learn more about the Masgutova Graduate School and for your interest in the programs that we offer.